Now, before I joined Alliance's team, I spent 13 years in the poultry industry. So I learned a lot of the ins and outs of all different stages of chicken houses, whether it be broiler houses, pullet houses, layer houses, the whole shebang. I've been there, done that. I know how the contracts work. I know how the houses are built and how the variations between one style to the other and how that also affects the value of the house. It's very important to understand all that when you're breaking down your specific chicken house insurance policy. Now, the first and most obvious piece of your coverage is obviously the structures, that being the chicken houses, and also if you have a litter shed, a barn to store tractors and implements, anything like that. But the majority of this is going to be in the actual structures of the chicken house. Now, whether that's a 600-foot layer house with company A or a 400-foot broiler house with company B, they're all different. They all have different equipment. They all are worth different amounts of money. So when you're coming up with your valuations, you need to understand that and communicate that well with your insurance agent to make sure you have the proper coverage. Now, a huge thing to consider is replacement cost versus actual cash value when you are evaluating your chicken house for your policy. Now, here at Alliance, we have multiple companies that will write chicken houses. Some of them will provide replacement costs for 5 years. Some of them will do replacement costs for up to 19 years. And sometimes you don't need that long. You know, sometimes replacement cost is a lot more expensive and you hit a certain point that you're okay going back to the actual cash value. But as long as you owe the bank money and you're in debt with your chicken houses, you need to make sure they are covered at replacement costs and at the appropriate amount. That's where having an agent that understands the different cost of chicken houses, who knows people in the business that he can speak to find out those exact numbers, and also understands the insurance business where they can get you the most replacement cost coverage for as long as possible by having multiple companies to shop with. Another piece to consider in your policy is equipment. Now, that can be anything from your automatic startup generators, incinerators, skid steer to help clean out, tractors, well pumps, anything along that lines that you use on your farm, that can all be combined into your poultry farm policy. Now, some other lesser known pieces that can be endorsed onto a chicken house or turkey house farm that are also very important to understand. You can do small endorsements that would cover the cost for a pileup or a suffocation if you were to have one happen. There's loss of income coverage, which some companies do mandatorily. Some of them it's optional, but it can cover you in the case of a total loss or a partial loss where you're out of business for a certain amount of time. You'll still have a stream of income, which is crucial if you were to have something happen, especially if you still owe the bank money, that they're still going to have enough at least to cover your mortgage and to keep operations going. Another piece to consider in your chicken house policy is your liability. Now, this is just something that some extra protection for you as the business and landowner, to protect you from anything unfortunate happening to someone else coming on your property. Very inexpensive and something you really need to have. Now, the last piece I'd like to discuss is workers' comp. The Department of Agriculture does not require a farmer to carry workers' comp unless he has 10 or more employees. So most poultry farms don't fall in that situation. But with that said, we have several carriers that write workers' comp, and it's very inexpensive, and it's much cheaper to pay that premium yearly than it would be if someone were to get hurt, because let's face it, sometimes it can be dangerous working in a chicken house, whether during clean out, moving equipment, just walking on the slats, or a trip and fall. So something worth talking about and looking at. It's not mandatory, but it's something that you should talk with your agent and try to understand it a little better. All right, guys, hope this was helpful. If there are any questions, reach out to me or anyone else at Alliance. I'd love to help you with your chicken house or turkey house operation. Try to find the right insurance for you. Have a great day, and be sure to thank a farmer.